Good morning, dzień dobry, and welcome to Wrocław, the capital of Śląsk and Poland's fourth largest city. Today I'm going to be taking you around this beautiful city, showing you its history, showing you the beautiful landmarks here, and taking you on a gnome hunt. So join me today and let's go adventure. Wrocław's Old Town Square is the second largest in Poland. It used to be a trading place, and with all the mud and horse manure going on, people started stacking boards on top of each other. So much so that they raised the level of this town by almost a meter. Many of these tenant houses are actually sitting below ground, which some of them you can actually visit down below. The Hansel and Gretel house here from the popular children's book Hansel and Gretel or Jaś i Małgosia. These two houses connected by an arch symbolize them, the two holding hands. Very cool. Right in front of Parafia Rzymskokatolicka Świętej Elżbiety Węgierskiej. We're gonna check out that next. There are many bridges you can see here in Wrocław. Wrocław is known as the Venice of Central Europe. Only Venice and Amsterdam have more bridges in their city. This street that I'm on is called Jatki. Dates back to medieval times. All these shops were used as butcher shops until artists used to start purchasing them and using them as their art as exhibition galleries. Now this is a very frequented visited tourist destination where you can find many souvenir shops and also some galleries. Let's have a look. The first settlement of Wrocław dates back to the 10th century. The city was granted its city rights in 1214. Over the years, many rulers took over this city, where you can see the influence on the building of different architecture and the influence of them on this beautiful city. The old city hall here in the Old Town Square, it is one of the oldest ones in Europe and by far one of the most beautiful ones. Unfortunately, much of the city, it was toppled down by the Germans during the World War II and it has been rebuilt. Inside, you'll find a city museum where you can learn about the city's extensive history. On the side of Ratusz, you'll find Piwnica Świdnicka. This was the longest operating restaurant, which began in 1273, and for 745 years it continued to operate until 2018, when legal disputes with the city, the restaurant had to close its doors. Another thing you have to try when you're in Poland is pączki. It's like a Polish donut with different fillings that you can choose from. University of Wrocław traces back to the beginning of 17th century. It is one of the best universities here in Poland and one of the oldest. This place used to be a palace of Emperor of Austria, Leopold I, and then it was gifted to the Poles. This behind me is the mathematical tower. It was used as an astronomy tower, and then the studies here expanded. You can actually go to the top by paying $2 to $3 to get a nice view of the surrounding area. Let's have a look inside. It smells so good. This is hala targowa, a trade hall, if you will. So here you'll find food, vegetable, fresh produce, a little bit of restaurants, and on the other side you'll find some flowers. Upstairs you have different kinds of things. Feel free to come here and roam around. We're gonna try to find some food. It may be a little bit early, but I'm having pierogi ruskie for breakfast. Bon appetit. Very good. I'm full, my tummy's happy, time to continue exploring. I'm here on Most Tumski, which connects Ostrów Tumski to Wyspa Piaskowa. Ostrów Tumski translates to Cathedral Island. As you can see, two beautiful cathedrals behind me. This place is very cool for a walk. It also features many cafes, and there's also hotels. If you're looking to stay outside of the city, I recommend this place, as it is only about a 20-minute walk right into the city center. Many people love to hang up love locks on bridges like this, but the little dwarf you guys just saw behind me, he actually believes in true love. So he removes those locks because he believes that locks being locked on the bridge imprisons the love, and as it erodes from rain and weather. So he unlocks those love locks and lets the love fly. Katedra Świętego Jana Chrzciciela, or Saint John the Baptist Church. It is one of the oldest Gothic churches here in Poland, dating back to the beginning of 13th and 14th century. I guarantee you will not find this on anywhere else on YouTube. These beautiful murals on people's homes. I'm not gonna reveal where it is, but you can wander around Wrocław and try to find it yourself. I think this is my favorite mural because it features dogs, and dogs are my favorite animals in the world. I'm a dog lover. Are you? Parafia Świętej Marii Magdaleny. This church is another beautiful overlook with a beautiful bridge that you can go up to, and it has a legend, which I'll tell you once we get to the top. Most Pokutnis, or the Witches Bridge. The legend has it that back in the day, people who were believed to be witches were asked to cross this bridge. If they succeeded, they were believed to be witches. If they fell to their death, they were believed not to be witches. Unfortunately, they died. Has one of the best views of the stary rynek. Church of St. Vincent and St. James is a hidden gem in my opinion. For those of you who love Baroque architecture, you must check it out. Inside, what you guys just saw is the Chapel of Hochberg. As I've read on one of the plaques, the creation of the promenade was actually as a result of when Napoleon Bonaparte came over and took over the city. He ordered the fortification, so this used to be all parts of fortification. As a new plan, the developers developed a urban park for the community to go on walks and enjoy the nature here in the heart of the city. Making my way through Wrocław, parks, past beautiful buildings, past, and I love it here. The area that I'm in right now is located to the southwest of the old town. It's called the Four Denomination District. It's called that because there's 4 different religions here. There's the Catholics, the Protestants, the Jewish, and the Orthodox, all living together in peace in one area. So it's time I tell you a little bit about what the purpose of these gnomes are. In the 80s, when Poland was under the communist rules, the Orange Alternative, as it was known, they wrote graffitis on the walls to kind of poke fun in a friendly manner of the communism, which were quickly taken down and erased. So their alternative, these gnomes. These gnomes are placed all over the city, and their significance, this for example is an orchestra which is located here near the Museum of Music, and you'll find these gnomes next to specific places that they represent. And if you yourself want to check out where these gnomes are and go find them, you can buy souvenir maps at the shops and go on a scavenger find yourself and find these friendly little gnomes. So the gnomes you can see are everywhere. I personally found about 30 of them. It's a very cool activity once you're sightseeing and you see all these little gnomes pop up. This is the main train station here in Wrocław Główny. If you're coming to Poland, the best way to get around Poland is by trains. For example, to get from Wrocław to Kraków, it takes about 3 hours, and the trains are very cheap, ranging from $5 to $10 if you buy in advance. And it's the most efficient way. I highly recommend it. It's a pleasant ride. You get to enjoy the scenery and check out these cool train stations around Poland. Wrocław should be on everyone's list, as it has one of the most beautiful town squares I've ever seen. It's rich in history. It has a lot of parks. It's just everything. The beautiful, colorful homes, the little gnome hunting, if you're into that. There's just something for everyone, so I highly recommend you coming here. And that is all for me from Wrocław. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something new today. And that is all. I'll be seeing you next week from Kraków. Jeszcze raz dziękuję za oglądanie. Jeśli się podobało, łapka w górę. Do zobaczenia za tydzień. Take care, guys. Bye.